Hey everyone, Blake here from the Southern Cowboy. I hope everyone had an amazing Thanksgiving this year. And today, I'm gonna be also, actually, I'll be reviewing a Akubra cowboy hat. Now I know what you're thinking. Blake, didn't you review that before on your what to look for in a cowboy hat video and all that blah blah blah? Well, both yes and no. Not a full review. I actually, really what I did is a comparison, if you think about it. And I noticed that I didn't really get much in depth of this as I anticipated. So I'm like, you know what? It's the holidays. People are looking to buy their, family Christmas gifts. Why don't I just do a whole review on it? So yeah, I'm basically doing what I did last week. I am going to be helping with everyone with Christmas gifts. Giving you guys ideas what to get your family and friends. Or even your spouses for Christmas and all. And I'll be seeing if there's alternatives. So, yeah. Now, another reason why I'm doing this is because I know that, and we're all going to be here eventually, right? If there's one thing that every cowboy and cowgirl is going to do in life, and let's all be honest here, marriage. Yeah. Getting married and all that. There's a lot of people, that are married and they have kids. Well, here's the thing. If there's one thing that, kids do is they'll either act like their father or mother or both. Eventually, let's just say, you're a kid, right? And you're like, hey dad, can I get a pair of Cayman boots? Or like, hey dad, when am I gonna get my first cowboy hat? Most will say, oh, we'll get you a Stetson or something. Others will say, don't. Don't. And I say that because, well, you see, I had to laugh. There was one video that I saw on TikTok where a father's buying his son a pair of cowboy boots out of Cayman. And I realized, you know what? There's a lot of people that have kids, and they probably are looking to get them their first cowboy hat. So I thought, why don't I help out? Why don't I just step in and help out? So it came to my attention, right, that there's not many companies that sell affordable cowboy hats for first-timers. But I have a few. So, listen, to all the mothers, fathers, and all that, if you're looking to get your son or daughter their first cowboy hat, I got one for you. If you're just getting into dressing Western, one company I recommend for a first-time hat buyer is, and it's not made in the US nor Canada, it's actually from Australia. So, here. This is the Akubra Rough Rider. Now, you're probably wondering, oh, but that's made in Australia. Why should I get Australian made? Well, actually, sure it's made in Australia, in the land down under, but really, it's kind of a good hat. I'll give you reasons why. So, many of y'all know Australia, right? It's a country in Oceania. Or it's an oceanic continent. That's simple. So, instead of cowboy hats they have in Australia and New Zealand, they have what they call down there Akubras. And you're probably wondering, wait, they have cowboys in Australia? Yes. For some of y'all that don't know, most of us know at least, there are cowboys in Australia, the land down under. And there's some in New Zealand. So, yeah, I got this from my dad a year ago. And as you saw, I actually did, in fact, feature this in one of my videos. A comparison video. What to look for in a cowboy hat. And you see, this is made here. Made in Australia. Says it right there. But you're probably wondering, but Blake, why should we get that as a first time hat? Well, there are many reasons. You see, in the, I believe it's the 1800s, I think his name's Benjamin or something, went to Australia and started a hat making business. And then look, years later, their hats were featured on films as well, like, I think it was on Crocodile Dundee. I'm not completely sure about it, but it's been featured on The Man from Snowy River and other movies. It really has. In fact, sure, it's an Australian icon, right? But there are some people in the United States that like these. And you know what? You can't blame them. So I got this from my dad, and I'm like, you know. So yeah, now let's get into the hat. This hat is made of 100% European hair, aka 100% rabbit fur felt. Now I know what you're thinking, but rabbit fur felt, Blake, that's like, you know, a decent material. You're right, but in Australia, you see, there are so many rabbits in Australia, it's not even funny. And they're actually invasive there. So what do? They hunt them, because they're invasive. Just like pythons here in South Florida. Pythons are invasive. That's what they can really do. Now, you're probably wondering, why is the brim different? Well, that's because I actually shaped it myself. To like a... I wanted it to look like a Ralph Lauren hat a bit. So I kind of gave it this like Rip Wheeler look. It's not the best, but it's good for a first time on rabbit fur felt. I'll be honest. And you notice that if any of y'all are subscribed and you guys are either from New Zealand or Australia, right? You might notice that the hat band is horsehair normally. Well, that's because here in the US, right? Even though it's illegal to get crocodile leather from Australia, that does not mean you can't have crocodile. Because here in the US, there's one guy, and his business is called like David Morgan. And he sells some crocodile leather goods, and he had a hat band. So I'm like, why don't I get this for my dad to match with it, so it can match with his Cayman boots. There will be a link down below with the Cayman boot reviews and the what to look for in a cowboy hat review. There will be a link. So now, here's the cool part. These are literally the most affordable hats on the market. Like, in the $200 range for USD, like United States dollars. In Australia, they're like $300. So they're more affordable here in the USA than in Australia. I'll be honest. And I do feel bad for those in Australia, because you guys, I'll be honest, even though this is rabbit fur felt, you guys make some damn good cowboy hats. I will give you that one. So yeah. Now, you also may have noticed that the color that they have is Loden or something. I think this is Loden. It's like this chocolate color. But yeah. So, I replaced the horsehair with a crocodile band from David Morgan. I reshaped the brim to give it like a vintage vibe. And it kind of went good, actually. Now, you may notice this. Rabbit is thicker than beaver. It's, well, not thicker, it's coarse. Look. It's a bit thicker. As for beaver, now the only reason this is thicker a tiny bit than other beaver felts is because this is a custom one by Bowman. I would check him out if you're looking for a beaver hat. But yeah. Normally beaver fur felt has a thinner brim because it's all packed in there. It's all packed in there with the fibers. The beaver hairs are longer and they stay connected for a long, and I mean a very long time. Here, it's like, it looks thicker, but the hairs on a rabbit is shorter. So meaning, therefore, yeah. However, the best part, not only are these affordable as heck, like $200, but these are also really, and I mean really water resistant. They can handle a crap ton of rain. This actually, so what Akubra does, from what I've looked in, they put like a spray on, like a shellac or something, similar to what Stetson and Resistol puts on their hats. And it keeps them water resistant. It does. So, that's good. Now, I am going to show you guys how it looks on camera on me. I already know some of y'all may have a field day. The others may be like, oh, that's not bad. Alright, let me put this away real quick. Hold on. Alright. Be prepared to have a field day. Alright. There we go. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, the leather sweatband is not cowhide. It's sheep leather. They call it a roan sweatband. So this is a roan sweatband, aka sheep leather sweatband. And I forgot to show you this as well, but inside, this is the lining. And it has like a plastic in the middle, so that if you're sweating, that doesn't, like, you know, get dirty or anything, which I thought is very, very clever of them to do. And the insane part, now I should mention this. Get a size up. Because if there's one thing I know, lamb skin and sheep skin can literally shrink. So I recommend you get a size up. This size is a 50 to a 60. So I'm going to show you how it looks. It may look big, but you're supposed to size up in an Akubra. Alright. Look, I already know you're going to have a field day, but that's how it looks. Doesn't look bad. It actually feels snug. Right? So what they do, right, is you get a size up, and then while you're outside, busting your butts off, outside, whether you're working on a pickup truck, you're out in the field or something, or just riding, or doing regular farm work or whatever, that sweat from your head, the oils, will shrink this sweatband down a bit, giving you a nice snug and tighter fit. That's why they recommend you get a size up. Which, you know, to be fair, that's a clever idea, because if there's one thing I know, let's just say you're riding. Do you want your hat to be too tight where it's going to fall off like boom? No. So that's why they recommend and say, hey, we recommend you get a size up so it can stay on your head. It shrinks, it stay on your head for good. Because you want it to be snug, but not so snug where it's going to barely fit on your head. So, that's a clever idea. The only negative that you guys should be careful with rabbit fur felt is it likes to get dirty a bit easily, actually, compared to beaver. Sure, it has a good amount of water resistancy and all that, and it looks like a cleaner look, right? But just be aware that rabbit can get a bit dirtier than beaver. Just be aware of that. However, it does stay cleaner than your average fur blend. So, if you do not want a beaver-rabbit blend, I recommend either choosing between 100% pure rabbit fur felt for a starter hat, or 100% beaver, if you know about hats. However, this, on my opinion, here are my thoughts on this. I feel that this is 100% better, okay? 100% better than your average Stetsons that are made in the US. And you're probably wondering, but Blake, Stetson's made in the USA. They're good. They're good. Yeah, but here's the sad part. Stetson changed their materials, and all they care about is quantity over quality now. And they don't use beaver as much anymore. Your average 6X is 100% rabbit, but it's way overpriced. 10X, where it says beaver, but where's the proof of beaver? A 30X, again, you don't know what's in it. They don't tell you. 100X, guess what? That's not 100% from Stetson. No. It's like so like stupid and asinine just to see them do that type of stuff. Same with Resistal. However, I keep hearing this. I will say this. Resistal, I did hear they make some decent 20Xs, so I'll give them credit for that. But if you have a son or daughter, or you're just getting into the Western industry or in that cowboy lifestyle, and you want to get your first cowboy hat but not want to spend so much money on it, I highly recommend checking out Akubra, okay? And if you want one that's a cowboy hat, I would either go for the Rough Rider or something with a cattleman crown. But if you don't want a cowboy hat and you want a teardrop crown, they have a little bit more selections of those. Or, you know what, to be fair with the city folk on this one, if you guys want a fedora, they have fedoras there as well. They have everything, basically. Therefore, if you're just getting into the Western industry and that lifestyle, I highly recommend buying yourself first a 100% pure rabbit fur felt, just since you're just getting started. Because I will be fair here, my first hat was not a Stetson, it was a pure rabbit fur felt. It was. So, yeah. If you're just getting in, get yourself a 100% European hair fur felt by Akubra. Whether it's the Rough Rider, the Cattleman, or the Camp Draft, whatever. Get yourself one of these if you're just getting started in the Western world. But, yeah. So, that being said, that would be an amazing Christmas gift you can get your, you know, your sons, your daughters. In fact, you could also possibly get this for someone you know who's in that industry. So, yeah. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, by the way. And you guys have a wonderful day. And I will see you on the next one. Keep it Southern.